Hi, nobodies. It's me again. And I have a friend. Yeah, it like stands on its own. It's got a couple little troops too. Love when that happens. My face is clean, by the way. It's just every once in a while those hormones go out of way. So today I wanted to take an opportunity to do kind of like a public service announcement. And I think I have touched on this before, or knowing me, I probably really went into detail about it. But um, here's my public service announcement. Call somebody today. It's a simple one. This is simple. Call somebody today. Talk to somebody. 15 minutes. Just 15 minutes. Just to check up on them, see what they're up to, how their day's been. Now, obviously, if you call your mom every day, that does not count. I mean, it counts to your mom. But no, call somebody that you haven't talked to in a minute. Like, go through Facebook, find one of your friends that you haven't seen or talked to in a minute, or texted with, or maybe you have. Doesn't really matter. You go on there, call that person. 15 minutes of your time out of a whole day. You're probably up like 16 hours out of this day or more. 15 minutes. Because you don't know what kind of ripple effect that can have. Maybe that person doesn't get any calls. Maybe the only voices that they hear are the voices of their family that lives with them. And maybe they need somebody from the outside. They need to hear that different voice. Because a lot of people, and I know this for a fact, a lot of people are free, but they're in prison. They're in a prison of they are at home, they go to the store, they come back home. They don't go out. Nobody calls them. Nobody but their family, you know? So for that person, that 15 minutes that you took to be an outside voice, that does so much for them. I mean, seriously, like these people could be sitting at home and smiling their ass off because they are so happy somebody called them. And if you think, oh, well, they're probably busy or whatever, just call that person. If they pick up and they talk to you for 15 minutes, that's awesome. Maybe you made their day. Maybe they make your day. At any rate, you did your job for the day. You reached out and called somebody who you hadn't seen in a minute. Or you just see them at work, so certain things are not discussed that y'all have in common. And this is easier to do than a visit. Sometimes gas, automobile situation, you can't always go visit people, but you can spare 15 minutes to possibly make somebody's day. Because, like, if you call them, maybe that turns their whole day around. Maybe for them, that's like a present. And I say this from experience. People call me, not very many. Today, I have received 2 phone calls. That's it. Aside from the godfather called me, which would be Isabel, my daughter, my middle. She called me, but that doesn't really count because I hear her voice all the time. It is nice to hear a different voice. And the thing is it was not only nice for me, it wasn't something that just made my day to hear that voice. It made their day too, because they haven't heard my voice all day. And they wanted to hear my voice. So anybody who means anything to you, make yourself a list and then just go down that list and 15 minutes out of your day. If you're really busy, you can spare 15 minutes to call somebody and just chat with them, you know? And if it's somebody who you feel like me would go over the 15 minutes, have something set in place to where, somebody's going to come up and say, hey, I need you right now. Come help me with this. Oh, I got to help such and such. Easy way to get out of a conversation. Use this with my mom all the time. You just say, shit, mom's calling. Hey, in 15 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes, depending on how bad of a day it was. It was, get me off this phone as quick as possible, please. And it was rougher to get mom off the phone because mom could hear all that and she'll say, I'll wait. Go help them and then get back on the phone with me. Or, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. That's okay, I can talk to you while you're on the toilet. Fuck. Yes, that was my mother. And she would want you to describe the sight and smell. Gotta love that. But I do know that when one of her friends would call, she'd get happy about it. Because they didn't call much. Most of the time it was her calling them. Probably because she wouldn't get off the phone. But like I said, you don't know the impact it can have. Maybe all you get is that they had a good day. Or you made them smile for that 15 minutes. That you made them happy. You made them laugh. That's a good feeling to know that you've made somebody smile when you think about it. Anytime you make a person smile or laugh, it makes you feel good. And you in turn will smile because you feel good. And this can impact your entire day. And even make a bad day so much better. Like you could have a shit day and then somebody calls you who you weren't expecting to talk to. And you're like, hey, I'm not having a bad day anymore. It was a shit day, but now it's okay. Yeah, that's the theory. At least that works for me. Of course, I'm BPD. Things process quickly with me. A simple thing can change things. But given that research is suggesting that BPD tops bipolar and schizophrenia combined, chances are just cold calling one of your friends, you're going to get one with BPD and you're going to change the whole course of their day. So, doesn't hurt to try. Doesn't hurt to touch base. Hell, you might call them and then they say, hey, what are you doing for dinner? Can I pick up this and bring it to you? Or, hey, I've got something I want to get rid of. Do you want it? And then it is something you want. You never know what the impact of that will be. You might have called them and they've got something to give you. If you're selfish or whatever, if nothing else, maybe they'll give you something. Or maybe that phone call will remind them to think of you on your birthday and Christmas, because you'll stick out amongst all these other friends they've got that don't bother to call them. That's if you want to be selfish, self-serving, all that kind of stuff. You can always turn that around to where you're not being altruistic. You're just making sure that they know what a good person you are. So I don't do anything really just out of altruism. I do, but it's also because I benefit, not necessarily, like not monetarily, but I benefit from pulling people into my circle. It gives me purpose. It makes me feel valued. It makes me feel heard. Sometimes they make interesting points. Sometimes I feel like, okay, I'm supposed to help them with what I know. It all works out some way. So 15 minutes every day, call somebody that you don't normally talk to. I've had a great day. I went and saw Humphrey and he looked at me. I mean, like he was right by the road and he looked straight. He looked me dead in the eyes. And I was like, wow. And then I got a little further down the road and I looked to my left and I saw a dog. And this dog, he was doing the whole like rubbing his back on the grass with his legs all cocked up and just looked like he was in heaven. And I was like, man, that's a happy fucking dog. That makes me happy. Sometimes the simple things are worth it if you take time to notice them. You know, like I said, watching the dog in hog heaven, scratching his back in the grass with his legs in the air, that dog was happy and that made me happy because I was like, that's happy. That's happy. I know that. I'm not completely retarded. And I was happy for the dog. So anyway, I had a good day. I'm going to have a good night. And tomorrow should be a good day regardless. Because I'm going to make it so. So have a good night.